Welcome back everybody, and in this video we'll be looking at how to write fast effective introductions. And just so you know where we are, this is the second step of the writing process, and we are going to learn how to write the introduction today. There are four things you need to do to write a fast effective introduction in just one sentence. And that is, firstly, you're going to paraphrase the opening statement. So the opening statement is the sentence that tells you what your visual data is about. We'll be looking at an example of this in a moment, but essentially you're going to be paraphrasing this sentence. You can do this by changing the word order, so just reordering the sentence, so long as it makes grammatical sense still. If you do that, you'll have to change, or you may have to change, the word formation of some of the words. For example, success, successfully, succeed. You might need to change the word formation when you change word order. The other thing we're going to do is use direct synonyms where possible. So just substitute one word for another word that means exactly the same. And when we do this, we need to avoid indirect synonyms. Let's take a look at what I mean by indirect synonyms. On the left here, we have the original word, which might come from the opening statement. And in the central column, we've got an indirect synonym, which is a word that is similar but doesn't have the exact same meaning. So we have to be careful when we use indirect synonyms. So if we change the word car to vehicle, it's not actually the same word, because a vehicle includes lorries, motorbikes, vans, and all other different types of motorized vehicles. So it is not a direct synonym for the word car. Motor car, however, is, and so is automobile. So you need to show that you have a good command of vocabulary and that you understand that not all synonyms are directly matching to the words that they replace. So be careful when you use synonyms. Some other interesting examples: a mobile phone is not really the same as a device or a gadget, but cell phone is a much better direct synonym. The same with radio. Sound system is similar, but a wireless is a direct synonym. Sport, indirect synonym recreation. It's similar, but not quite the same. And I can't think of a direct synonym for sport. So if you had the word sport in your opening statement, then you're simply going to use the same word again. It's absolutely okay to use the same words again, rather than use an indirect synonym which has a different meaning. Again, health, not quite the same as fitness, but health is much more like wellness or well-being. Accidents, incidents or crashes is kind of similar, but not exactly the same. They have different connotations. An incident doesn't sound quite as serious as an accident, whereas a crash sounds very serious. So they have slightly different meanings, and we need to be careful when we use synonyms. And finally, hospital, an indirect synonym might be clinic, ward, or surgery, because really they could all be different parts of a hospital. A direct synonym would be healthcare facility. That's much more accurate. So be aware that when you're using synonyms, you need to choose ones that are direct and avoid indirect synonyms, because it will give a different meaning to your sentence. Here is the opening statement and question for the line graph that we've been looking at in previous videos. The opening statement reads, "The graph below shows radio and television audiences throughout the day in 1992. Now, we've already analysed this line graph, so we know what it's showing us. Now, let's see how we could turn this opening statement into a nice one-sentence introduction. So, from the original opening statement, I've created the following one-sentence introduction to my answer. And it reads, "The line graph reveals wireless and television viewing figures during a 24-hour period in 1992. Now, you'll probably notice that essentially all I've done is use direct synonyms to create my introduction here. So, graph changes to line graph, shows equals reveals, radio equals wireless. Television, you'll notice, has stayed the same. I've not changed that. I could perhaps say TV, but it sounds a bit too casual, so I've left it as television. Audiences, I've used viewing, viewing figures. Throughout matches with during, and day equals 24-hour period. So simply by showing my range of vocabulary, I've been able to use direct synonyms to write a one-word introduction to my answer. And that is all we need to do for our introduction. Write one sentence that paraphrases the opening statement that you're given in the question. You'll see lots more examples of these during the rest of the videos, but that is basically all you have to do. So let's have a quick summary of this lesson. When writing your introduction then, the main thing you need to remember is that you're only writing one sentence, and all you're doing is paraphrasing the question opening statement. You need to try and use direct synonyms, and you need to keep it simple. Then once you've done that, you move on to the next part of the writing process. So that's all you need to do for your introduction.